Well, you know what? Son of a gun, we've made it.
What did we make it to?
Episode 16 of the Maximize Podcast.
That indeed.
I'm one of your hosts. I'm Josh Cooper. This guy is.
I'm Justin Oman.
And today we're going to talk about what happened in the world, real estate-wise, in 2022.
We can talk a little bit about the rest of the world. I mean, I've learned some things in 2022.
Yeah.
You know, we've learned that you don't necessarily want to wait to pursue things because interest rates go up. I'm also very certain after this year that Tom Bergeron is the best AFV host. Period.
Oh, false.
Whoa.
False news.
Where are you going?
He's like the bottom.
No.
Yes.
Nope.
Number one, Alfonso.
Nope.
Yep.
Nope.
Yep. Carlton.
Nope. We're off base here,
Carlton,
but you're wrong.
Then Bob Saget. And then good old Tommy.
Whatever.
All right.
We're done.
2022.
2022.
What happened?
What happened? So prices still moving. January, climbing, going. And then all of a sudden, interest rates changed. And then there was a big moment where agents realized, oh, shoot, this house is on the market a little longer than I thought. Do I not know what I'm doing, or have things
What is
changed?
happening? Yeah, no, as we're sitting here talking, thankfully I just got another text that we are now clear to close. So
that's lovely.
So things are still closing, right? They're just closing at a different pace, a different rate, different clip.
Yeah.
And it's up to us to kind of, if you're looking at from the real estate professional perspective, the industry has changed from, all I have to do is have a pulse to sell a house.
That's true.
To, okay, if I want to be sustainable in this business, I have to run this as a business and not just a hobby.
And kind of know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
A little bit.
You have to be knowledgeable. And, you're not going to, fortunately for you, we just can't get by on our good looks anymore.
Fortunately for me.
Yeah.
Gosh. It's full of compliments today.
Yeah, it's no, but 2022 has been an amazing year for us. It has been, one of our more profitable years.
I think so.
We've helped nearly, I don't know what the number. I haven't looked at the number, but close to 100
Probably
people.
Around 100, I think.
Yeah. And we're running at a great clip. Never, we slowed down a little bit, but it's just changed. It's it's not the same. It's not like hurry show houses anymore because you're working with 14 different buyers and 5 of them want to go see the same house, and you got to decide who what offers where. But
yeah, I want to say like the work isn't necessarily less, and you haven't slowed down, but you're not living life with your buyers in this constant state of panic. Like, are you going to make it to the showing before they get all the offers in?
Correct.
So I like that a little bit more. You still need to be diligent. You still don't have a ton of days on market, so you're not just going to sit around and wait and maybe they'll drop at 50,000 for you. But if you can't make it out in the first 10 hours the house is on the market, you may still be okay. And I like that.
So paint me a picture. In basically 1 year ago today, what was your average day? What did it look like?
Well, let's not say 1 year ago today, because we're talking New Year, January 1. People have just gone through holidays, a little bit different. So let's say not quite like the extreme hustle and bustle of the middle of the summer, but just like a good real estate day, 2021. I'm getting multiple phone calls. A new house is hit the market. If you are not showing it that day, and you are not running the second you get the phone call to show the house, your buyer is missing the opportunity to see the house. So my phone is on me a lot. I'm answering it at dinner at other times. I may or may not be getting glares from my spouse and then saying, I am sorry, I have to go leave. And chances are that night I'm also writing an offer. So there's that extra work that all goes into the same thing. And I would say you're writing 8 to 10 offers per client. You're offering 5 to 25 over to sometimes 55 over on on, I want to call them lower spectrum, but I want to say like sub $500,000 houses, you're still offering $50,000 over on. Obviously, the higher you go, the lower the percentage of the excess of the offer. So obviously, there's more. I'm sure in $1 million home, you're offering a couple $100,000 or more over the value. If you're on the West Coast, things are getting real crazy out there with above asking price. So that was the typical day. It was on the phone, making phone calls, setting appointments, running. Now we're still doing the same thing, but the pace at which my heart rate had to run on a daily basis, not knowing if I was going to miss the opportunity to show a house to somebody, was very different than now receiving that call, making the phone call, calling the agent, asking if offers are on the table. Now, not necessarily to play like, oh, we got plenty of time, but to say like, do I need to run out in the next 12 hours or can I come tomorrow and schedule this into my day instead of scheduling my day around it?
Correct. And so I closed on my house roughly a year ago, and the rate I got was in the low threes. Fast forward 12 months to right around now. You have buyers closing at about what rate?
Well, I think so. The rate they have and the rate they close at are two different things right now. Like we just had a rate hike. We were already at it was like 7.25-ish, I think. A lot of times we're closing less because the requirement to make it so that these buyers can have it within their budget, and that the lending institutions are comfortable with where their budget is going to be. They are having to buy down the points. But they're starting at, we're over 7 somewhere on average. Mm-hmm. The Fed rate doesn't necessarily directly correlate to what happens with the interest rates, but it does hit it. So I had not looked this morning, but I do know like we've been in the 7s, and a lot of the closing interest rates, even after buying down points, are in the high 6, which is double what you got.
Historically, obviously, that's not terrible. But when you're coming off the lowest rates we've ever seen, so it's hard for buyers to swallow paying double the rate. Yeah, and I understand that.
If you look at the large overall picture of the way things move, like that's very different than watching your own money and your own budget change significantly.
Heck yeah.
So when we bought at 3% interest, a $1,000 to $1,200 a month, depending on your taxes and yada yada on your house, is a $200,000 purchase.
Yeah.
Now it's 140s, maybe 150s.
Yeah.
So totally different ballgame.
I was talking to a lender the other day, and so I had them run a hypothetical. I actually asked 2 lenders this. I said, someone who is working a minimum wage job, has pretty good credit, and has virtually no debt, how much house could they afford in this market?
Did you guys define what like pretty good was?
Above 700.
Okay, so like the bottom tier of like the excellent. Yeah. So like under 740, but above 7.
Just above 7 in general.
Okay, well, your next step up is whatever.
Listen, that's why I'm not a lender. And so anyway. And they came back, and someone having a minimum wage job, good credit, virtually no other debt. In theory, right now, they could afford about an $85,000 house.
I can find you one of those. Nowhere that would probably qualify. So, and in doing that, they're talking about, I'm assuming, either a grant-assisted down payment program or at least FHA. We're not talking conventional.
I didn't ask those questions. I just wanted a general rough ballpark.
Well, here's why I'm saying that question, and you'll obviously understand that, but for someone else is, I may be able to find you a house that isn't amazing at that, but there are probably some issues with that would not close on an FHA loan.
Correct.
So if that was your qualification, I have now gone back and eliminated your options for buying a home, whether the list price shows that it's in your budget or not.
But right now, what you're seeing, especially from the listing side, is sellers. So buyers are now getting concessions, right? So they're getting the ability to ask for closing costs. They're getting the ability to ask for some repairs. And some sellers still in their mind, they're saying, hey, I'm still selling this as is. great. You can market it like that, absolutely. But that does not mean a buyer is not going to come in and possibly ask for that.
Right.
And you're seeing that happen every single day now, in which a year ago it was not happening. Closing costs, what is that? Absolutely not. Today I'm submitting an offer with a 60-day close.
Well, the situation's a little bit different, but I have like a 90-some day close that's under contract.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's a little bit of an anomaly. But
little bit of an anomaly. But I also yesterday submitted an offer, excuse me, 30K under ask.
Yeah,
not 30K over ask.
Yeah, mine's going to be around 30 under as well, with a 60-day close. We'll see how it goes. Now,
it's a
$400,000 property.
Sure,
too,
I get
but
that.
It's
so is mine.
So I mean, it's overpriced, but sellers still are in their mind. They're thinking, okay, well, I may have started this flip project a year ago. The market has changed substantially.
Well, my neighbor got 370, and I like mine better, so mine's worth 4 whatever.
Yeah.
Well, your neighbor sold it at 3% interest.
Yeah. So a couple stats I just want to kind of bring up, and I want to touch base, just so everyone kind of has an idea of the year in, what happened in 2022, right? So we started with really low rates. The rates have basically doubled.
We'll call it doubled. Yep.
Average residential house in this area is on the market for 19 days. Without looking at the stats right here on my computer, average residential house is 19 days on the market before it gets its first contract.
Okay.
Now, a multifamily. How many days is a multifamily? So a duplex, a triplex. How many days is that on the market before its first contract?
60?
This is pretty good. It's 51. So almost 3 times. So 2.5 times. 2.5 times a multi-unit will sit on the market before a residential.
Wow. And let's talk about a brief look back at 2021. How many days were they on the market?
Jeez.
2?
Yeah.
If you're lucky.
Hours. And
12 hours.
And that's because they were holding offers.
Yeah, they were only on because they wanted to review the 15 they had.
And you're still getting some listings that have multiple offers. If it's priced right, if it looks well in a good area, it's happening still. But those are a lot few and far between when you can find, it just is what it is. But what you've seen is you've seen a buyer looking at these, let's say $300,000 properties. Now they're looking at $225,000 properties because that's how much the rates have changed it, and they want to be comfortable, right? So people are panicking. Okay, well, what's going to happen in the market when that unknown, that uncertainty has caused people to kind of put the brakes on. Even so we're seeing listings, so more listings kind of creep up on the market, but you're not seeing they're not going in contract at at the same clip as they were.
And we're not to a buyer's market yet.
No.
Inventory is still only, 2.5 months tops if we stopped? 2.
Well, actually, the number I saw last week was 1.8. We're at 1.8.
So if we get to 3.5, it'll become a buyer's market. But that's still not...
No, that's a balanced market.
Well... From what we've seen, a buyer's going to go in and make the offer and have a lot more player cards on.
And I would argue to have a true balanced market, it would be 6 months. But
I don't think that's necessarily what historical statistics
would
tell you. If we saw it, well, we'll just say this: like you're probably right, but with the way we've seen things happen, if we got to 4, it would drastically change the way we behaved in the market.
Yeah. For sure. Absolutely. 1,000%.
Drastically.
1,000%.
Well, I don't have much more. And I know they love listening to us.
Yeah.
But here's the takeaway, right? So we're looking the year on end. If you are looking to buy a home, don't shop with the intention of, I will find the house that I want, and then I will wait for it to crash, and I will go buy it. Because even if the price goes down from what you're seeing today, unless you have cash in your back pocket, your budget is still going to be more expensive monthly. If the house is worth $300,000 now and you can get it in 6 months for $20,000 less than that, but interest rates go up 2-3 more points, like it doesn't matter. Especially if you're never going to move from that property.
Yeah. But that doesn't happen. But people think that.
But they think that.
And one of the amazing stats as we were going through, 2020, 21, 22, or at least on the early end of 22, you had average, 1 out of 4 houses in our local MLS went under contract with cash, closed with cash. 1 out of 4. That number, last number I saw, it has actually went up to 31%.
No kidding.
That number's actually went up.
So
roughly 1 out of 3 homes right now are still closing with cash because people have to build up equity in their home or retirement or whatever that they can leverage those assets to buy the properties cash. And then obviously they refi, they have a mortgage on it. That's fine. They put the cash back.
Right.
But having the ability to use that cash to do that has helped them tremendously.
I would be interested, and I know it's probably not tracked anywhere, but I'd be really interested if we could ask the questions to see how many of those cash deals are downsizers and how many of those are out-of-state buyers moving from the coast, where they built up equity in a house they paid $100,000 for that's worth $600 now, 20 years later, and they're moving close to somebody else, and they have all this extra cash.
It's a great question.
I don't know. It's there.
I'd be
it's
curious
just
to know.
What percentage is that coming from?
Yeah. Anything else we got?
Nothing else for me.
Okay.
Other than a sip of this hot chocolate.
Wow, hot chocolate, not coffee. Well,
I mean, I almost put a shot in it, but I didn't.
This is Josh Cooper with the Maximize Podcast, wrapping up episode 16 and the 2022 year-end review.
Year-end review. And I'm Justin, and I agree with everything he said.
Make sure you follow us on social media. Instagram, right? Because you're all over Instagram.
All over it.
Facebook. And we have a sweet little montage coming up of all the people that we've helped this year, at least from the listing perspective. Maybe thinking about the buyers, we'll see. But you can at least see how many people we've helped this year.
Yeah, and we may also have a montage for you of all the embarrassing moments Zach has caught on camera this year.
Yeah.
Music montage. We'll see you next time.
Thank you all for a wonderful 2022. Thank you for continuing to trust us with your business. And as always, stay classy.